Okay, well, I realized that we have a pod, obviously, about 90's movies, which means you're probably often watching our movie of the week.
Oh.
But I wanted to talk about like what else you're watching. So, what are you watching these days, Hannah?
So after you suggested watching Grace and Frankie, I've been watching that. But my
That's good.
all-time, I've definitely said this on the pod a million times. My all-time favorite show is BoJack Horseman. I literally watch it like when I have nothing else to do. Like that is what I put on. And it is so good. It is so deep. I hate most of the characters, but that's why I watch it because I like hate the characters so much. But like there's a cool writer girl in it who's like whimsical and cool. So I like her, but I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know.
Have you
It's
seen
so
like
good.
all of it and you're like doing, they call it a millennial thing to like rewatch your favorite show over and over again, but have you seen all of it and you're just like rewatching it?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
rewatched it like 5 times. It's six
Are there
seasons.
other shows that you've done that with?
No, actually, this is like one of the only ones, but I recently
Um,
watched Disenchantment. Usually when I'm like done with the show, I like can't watch it again. But
yeah,
BoJack Horseman, I can. But
just
I've
can keep
watched
watching.
Disenchantment. Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy. Watched Disenchantment. I've watched a little bit of Rick and Morty. I'm trying to think of shows like BoJack Horseman that I've watched. I don't know.
But
I
like,
like adult cartoony movies.
yeah,
Or
that's
shows.
true. But like I rewatched like Gilmore Girls actually so much. I should tell you this that like Netflix stopped me from watching it anymore. And now they're going to be taking it off at the end of the month, but it's been on Netflix for like 12 years. And honestly, last year probably close to February of last year. So it's been an entire year. I've not been allowed to watch Gilmore Girls on Netflix. Literally, if you click on it on the app or on the web or on my TV, it does nothing. It just refreshes the page and it like no longer. I think they were like, this girl has to stop. Because I would put it on to go to sleep. I would put it on to like do laundry. It calms my dog down during storms. Like, and I mean, Gilmore Girls is good. It's not like the best thing on the planet, but it is good. I do like it. But yeah, I've rewatched like The Office and Parks and Rec. You've seen Parks and Rec.
Yes, I have seen.
That's
I've seen some of The Office too.
okay. Well, Parks and Rec I've seen like through a
Yeah.
few times. Friends I've watched through a few times, but
Mhm.
have you seen anything new lately?
I watched. Was it called Sirens? I watched the the one show you
Yes.
recommended. Yeah.
And I was like,
About like
this
the
is
sisters.
intense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that
So
was
I
a
saw
while
that.
ago though. Okay.
Yes, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was like almost a year ago now. Yeah,
Have
but I
you
watched
seen
that.
there's a movie called Remarkably Bright Creatures that came out this year?
No, is it good? That sounds like indie. That sounds like something I'd like.
Okay. It's on Netflix. Oh, so I'm gonna go on this like I'm on a huge Netflix kick right now. So shout out to Netflix, except for the what you did to me on Gilmore Girls. Like that's you just did me dirty there. Um, but Remarkably Bright Creatures just came out like maybe a month ago. And I've been saving it. I've been saving it till I'm like ready. And I didn't know much about it, but I like wanted to sit down and watch it and have time and like I made my boyfriend watch it with me because I was like, maybe he'll like this movie. Like I try to save movies that he'll like for when we're together and we both have time to watch. So yeah, so I watched it over the weekend and I cried. It was incredibly beautiful. It has Sally Field, who you'd know, well, she's in Steel Magnolias, so eventually when you watch that before it leaves Netflix at the end of the month, you'll recognize her there. But she's in Mrs. Doubtfire. She plays the mom in Mrs. Doubtfire. So if you
Oh,
remember Mrs. Doubtfire,
yeah, I
um,
remember.
it has Lewis
Yes.
Pullman, who is in the Top Gun movie, Top Gun Maverick, the newest Top Gun. Which I don't know if you've seen that one. He's also in Lessons in Chemistry, which is a good show, but I don't think you've seen that either. It has Kathy Baker, Cole Meany, and the voice of Alfred Molina, which is good. But it is like I think one of my like absolute new favorite movies. So listeners, if you haven't seen it, you should. It's incredible, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna spoil anything because I really want it to be like really good for you to watch. But after you watch it, we'll talk about my theory. And I put a little note in my notes to like remember what my theory is so that I don't forget. Next time when eventually you watch it, I'll be like, okay, now I have to tell you my theory. That's one of that I recommend. I also do want to recommend the Four Seasons, the new TV version. I just finished it last week, the second season. Now, the original was a movie in the 80s, and it had like comedians like Alan Alda, Carol Burnett, Rita Moreno to start, with an amazing team of people. The whole premise is that three suburban couples like vacation together each season,
Oh,
and then tensions arise when one couple splits up. So that's kind of like that's the movie, but the TV show takes that and then continues to run with it. So the TV
oh,
version, was the season two was just released like 2 weeks ago, and I already flew through it already.
mhm.
But the new version, the TV version, has Tina Fey, so you know her from Mean Girls. She was the teacher.
Oh, okay.
She was in 30 Rock. She was in SNL. Will Forte, he's a comedian. He's hilarious. Carrie Kenny, Marco Calvani, Steve Carell from The Office,
Hmm.
Coleman Domingo, who is my newest favorite actor of all time. But I laughed out loud during both seasons. So it's about relationships, and it's like about friendships, and honestly, like I said, I flew through it just like really quickly because it's really good. Um, it's not like super intense. It's not like super anything, but it is just funny, and it's a good
Okay.
casual watch. Highly recommend that one. And then if you listen to Amy Poehler's podcast, like some of those people have been on her podcast, and so I flew
Oh,
through that
neat.
too. I'm all caught up back on Amy Poehler's podcast. So,
This
and
sounds
then
like the type of show I would like. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good show. It's just a good it's a good hearty laugh. I don't think it's like as direct as Grace and Frankie, but it's kind of leaning a
Mm,
little Grace and Frankie for
okay.
sure.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so I would love it. Okay, good.
yeah, it's along that same like comedic laugh, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but my next watch uh is is something on reality TV essentially. And Lori had gotten me hooked on, I don't know. Well, first of all, if you don't remember, listeners, Lori is my bestie, and she joined us for our episode on Space Jam. So she watched that with us. But she got me into watching Cheer. Did you ever watch Cheer? The
Yeah.
Navarro cheerleaders?
Oh no, I watched
Well,
the
the other one, what I'm getting to.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, did not watch the
they had a show called Cheer, which covered the Navarro College cheerleaders, and she got me watching that. And then they put out the next year the America's Sweethearts, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and I like watched that, and now I'm down a stupid rabbit hole with cheerleader reality television. And so now it's like season three of America's Sweethearts that just came out, and so that's the next thing in my queue for me to watch. And I hate reality television. I should say that right off the top. If no one's dying, I'm not for it. Like it's got a true crime. It's got to be true crime if I'm watching reality TV. It's got to be like either court cases or true crime. If no one's dying, I'm not watching it. However, these girls are like killing themselves practically for this silly
Yeah.
sport. It's not that silly. I respect it. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I can't do reality television, but I'm like stuck watching these cheerleader shows.
Oh my
So,
God, it's so good. There's so
did
much
you
drama
watch?
too.
Did you
Yes.
watch the latest season?
I haven't seen the latest season. I've seen the
Okay.
first season though. And it's
Okay.
I didn't even know they had a third season. So now I might have to watch
Yes. It
this. Like
literally dropped. See, I'm addicted to Netflix. I have a problem. Uh I should also say that like something is playing in my house, like doing laundry, doing dishes. I need to like sit and be with the quiet. Is that ADHD that I don't want that? I don't know. Somebody told me online the other day that I had ADHD, and so now I'm trying to figure it out. But like I don't like something I like something playing all the time. Like I need noise.
yeah,
I
no,
like
I feel
listening to things. And I'm not, I just put it on my phone.
mhm.
This is why I have to have an unlimited data plan because I have it on my phone playing like everywhere I am, like something, not during the workday, but like in the morning when I'm getting ready, after work, when I'm like doing laundry or mowing the lawn, I'm listening to a podcast. So
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, I'm the same exact way. Constantly need some stimulation.
with those cheerleaders, like the injuries that they get from dropping to a split,
Yeah. Like as someone who used
hip
to do dance, like
replacements,
I don't know.
like do they have a specialist just for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders that do their hip replacements? I just like orthopedic surgeons in Dallas must be making a lot of money.
True. And it's crazy too what they can do. Like they're so talented, but it's like for what? I don't understand. I just as you said, they're like killing themselves. And I don't
It's a lot. I mean, I
yeah.
respect,
Yeah.
but it's a
But like
lot. I do know
yeah.
people that used to be on in college were on dance teams, and one of them that had joined like a pep squad, and the amount of work that they have to do to stay on it. I mean, it resonated with me because I remember like my roommate at the time like was trying to do something similar, and a couple of them had gone out to be dancers for the Detroit Pistons. And yeah, it was like they got paid like nothing. They had to work out all the time. They were constantly at practice. They're constantly getting tans, extensions, like there's an image you have to keep up. That's a full-time job by itself. Then they have
Literally.
all these like things that they had to go to that were not part of dancing, that were like, oh, we do parades and business openings, like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders like show
Yeah.
you. They don't get paid for that extra stuff. And then they also have to have a full-time regular job. And some of these
Yeah.
people are like finishing school, and like you have to be independently wealthy to be a cheerleader. So anyway,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I remember one of the girls in the first season was like a doctor or something. And I was like, how are you how are you doing this? Like, girl.
well, think about the American healthcare system. One, she's charging probably $500 million for one appointment. Two, she only has to spend 10 minutes with the person. So, so,
So
I mean, right? Maybe that's
so
the
true.
easiest job to have is like you spend 10 minutes with one patient,
Yeah, literally.
diagnose them with something, doesn't have
Yep.
to be right,
Yeah.
walk away, charge $1 million, and there you go. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Well, you're listening to Millennial Meets Gen Z. Hopefully, you keep watching and keep listening. This is the 90's edition, the podcast where one of us grew up with the music, the movies, the pop culture of the 90's, and the other is discovering it all for the first time. I'm Allison, the Millennial.
I'm Hannah, the Gen Z.
And each week, we rewind a different piece of 90's culture to see why these stories stick with us today, what holds up, what doesn't. So, whether you lived through it or you're discovering it for the first time, let's rewind. So, you ready to dive into our movie of the week?
Yes. I like this movie.
Okay, well, this week we watched a Goofy movie from 1995. The synopsis is that a Goofy movie follows an awkward teenager, Max Goof, who, to impress his high school crush Roxanne, falsely claims he's going to Los Angeles to attend a concert by pop superstar Powerline. Panicking, Max is forced to cancel his date when his overbearing father Goofy abruptly takes him on a cross-country fishing trip. Now, it is written by Jim Magan, Chris Matheson, and Brian Pimentel. Well, Jim Magan is known for his work on DuckTales, Tailspin, oh yeah, Tailspin, oh yeah, Tailspin. That's for all the millennials. Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, never heard of that. And Gummy Bears, which we all millennials should remember. We are the Gummy Bears. Bouncing.
There's a
You
gummy
don't, it's not like the candy. It's like a cartoon and they like bounce.
What?
Bouncing here and there and everywhere. No?
I don't like that. That's so
Okay, we're gonna
crazy.
have to find a clip of Gummy Bears for our next episode and we will watch that. It's kind of gonna be weird with our movie of the week next week, which you'll hear about later. So you'll get a kick out of pairing Gummy Bears, the cartoon, with our next movie, our next watch. We'll see
I'm
how that
scared
goes.
now.
Anyway, Chris Matheson is known for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Excellent. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Bill and Ted Face the Music. He also wrote the teleplay for Stepsister from Planet Weird, which is a Disney Channel original movie. Loved that movie. Brian Pimentel wrote Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, Brother Bear, Home on the Range, B&B 2, and Spellbound. Now, director Kevin Lima is known for Enchanted, the movie you don't like, Aladdin, and Tarzan. He was also directing 102 Dalmatians and Eloise at the Plaza and Chris at Christmas time. So Eloise at Christmas time. Do you ever watch Eloise? No, or have the books? No. Okay,
No.
that's a 90's
I
thing too.
Eloise the sourdough.
No, not Eloise. That might be what she named it after. I'm not really sure. There is this like book about how Eloise lived with her, I think her mother, at the plaza. So they lived in a hotel. I don't know if her mother was like the manager or something. She did something. And she had like run of the hotel as a kid. And so like it was about her just like having like having fun and like getting into trouble and trying to like get out of trouble. But she like knew the doorman and the bellboy and all the people that worked at the hotel, and she was constantly meeting new guests and she was getting into trouble like
Um,
and they were telling her to like stay out of trouble and stay away from the people, but she lived at the plaza anyway. Okay.
hmm.
So, what'd you think of this movie? And before we rewind, let's get the rating a little early on this one.
Okay, so I really liked this movie. I really liked it. I feel like I liked this one because it didn't feel like super kiddie. You know what I mean? Like it didn't, like, yes, it was a cartoon,
Oh,
but
like
like,
childish. I was like,
yeah.
Kitty, there's no cats in this movie. Goofy's a dog.
No, but I don't know. It didn't feel like as childish as,
Okay.
like, I don't know. I liked that. I,
Okay.
I also realized I do recognize Max, and I don't know from what, but I'm pretty sure I had like a crush on him as a child. Like the cartoon. Did you ever have cartoon
I
crushes?
thought you recognized the voice.
Oh no, I did too. But I
You
figured,
did recognize the voice?
didn't he voice Binks?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So did you have a crush on the voice or the cartoon? I mean, he was in
No,
like
like
they had other goofy like short movies and stuff that followed this movie.
yeah, because I definitely recognized him, and I was like, wait, I think I had like a crush on him as a child, like in the cartoon. Is that not like do millennials ever like? Is that like a
Have
millennial
crush
thing too?
on have a I had a crush on Casper the Friendly Ghost, but not the cartoon. The like he was like an I guess he was kind of a cartoon in the movie, Casper.
It's such a
But who
random
didn't?
one.
Every millennial had a crush on Casper. He was a cutie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I had a crush on Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I didn't have a crush on like Simba. I don't
I
know. I'm trying to think of like a cartoon character that I was like, yes, that's my like. I didn't really like any of the Disney princes that much.
yeah, no, me either on that, except Flynn Rider. But besides that,
Yeah, but he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't around when I was little. Um, yeah. So I can't think of a
dang,
cartoon
that's crazy because I know so many Gen Z people. This is like such a funny generational thing who
that have
have like a
crushes on
thing.
characters.
Yeah, like so many Gen Z are like obsessed with Nick Wilde from
Who's
like
Nick Wilde?
the Zootopia Fox. Like there are edits. There are like
He's a
thirst trap
fox.
edits. There are thirst trap edits.
He's not even a human person, Hannah.
Yeah, like
And
it's all over TikTok.
you had a crush on like a cartoon dog.
When I was a kid, it was the vibe. I
It
liked my
was the
men
vibe.
rebellious.
I didn't realize that being having a crush on cartoons was a vibe. So my apologies, Gen Z.
No, I
I
swear this is a thing. I swear.
I know that people had like a crush on the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, but then when he becomes the human person, he's kind of ugly, and we're all like, meh.
I
Um,
agree with that. I didn't have a crush on him, but I thought he was more attractive as a beast than he was as a human.
Aladdin was kind of too cocky. Like Tarzan wasn't very attractive either.
Yeah, I agree. I agree
I'm
completely on
trying to
that.
think of like no human people. I think Casper was the limit. Human human people.
Oh, that's so
So
funny.
sorry. So
That is
sorry.
so crazy. Oh
We
my
had like so
God.
many like Disney original movies growing up that like we had all these boy crushes. Like there were so many teen pop stars and like teen like or young, like the kids from Step by Step or the kids from Home Improvement or you know what I mean? Like there's so many shows that had young like when we were young that had like other people our age. Boy Meets World, like who didn't have a crush on Sean? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
that's fair.
there was so there was or Eric Matthews. I think mine was Eric Matthews.
Really?
Yeah, Will Ferrell is just amazing still. Like sorry.
That's true.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, that's fair. That
Um
was fair. Dang.
Ryder Strong, who played Sean, still amazing.
I
I
love
love
that.
their pod, so you know that. I'm obsessed. I have t-shirts actually from their podcast. Um, but yeah, like I think we had so much of that where I don't think that you had that growing up. Like, who could you have had a crush on? Like Steve from Blue's Clues? Like, I think I have a crush on him now. Like, I'm like, if I follow him on social media now, and I'm just like, yeah, Steve, I am having a bad day. Do you follow him?
Oh,
He's amazing. He's like, how are you guys? Like he came in COVID, he did his first video and he's like, how's everybody doing? And everybody was like, Steve, it's been so hard.
no, I've not seen that video. I think we've gone on his Instagram though, if I remember correctly. I
Yeah,
think we talked about
because he's
those.
amazing. You should. Okay. Anyways, I did not though. So you had a crush on Max. That's what you think of this. So you liked this movie because it was
I
like,
did like
oh,
this movie. I liked
okay.
this movie. I liked the plot. As we know, I like romance.
Did
So I had
you?
some
I was
romance.
a little bit worried because I did forget that like there are more songs in it than I remember. Was it too musically? Because you talked about how you don't like musicals.
Yeah.
Was it too musically for you?
I actually didn't think about the songs as much. Like surprisingly, I think
Okay.
because in my head it was like fully cartoonish and like obviously I've seen Mickey Mouse. So I was kind of just like assuming that a little bit going into it. So it wasn't like as bad as I thought it would be. Like I liked this movie more than I thought I would like it. Like
Okay.
significantly more.
Okay. All right. Because this is the second movie now that since you've said I don't like musicals, that I'm like, oh crap, this has
Yeah.
more music in it than I remembered. Like Austin Powers was the last one, and I was like,
So
she might
funny.
not like it because of the musical.
I love
Um,
Austin Powers.
I'm also realizing now too that like our cartoons were like Daffy Duck. Like, do you have a crush on Daffy Duck? Like, no. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like we had Looney Tunes, we had Animaniacs, we had like Tiny Toons, like none of that Rugrats. Like we didn't
Yes, you
have
did.
anything that you would be like, that's a cute cartoon character.
Oh, wait, that's so funny. One of my other crushes was Ferb from Phineas and Ferb. What
Yeah,
about
I'm worried about you. We need to get you some real people. We need to
just
watch we need to watch some more 90s movies with real people. Just you wait. Okay.
yeah, so I liked
So
it
what
and I rate it an 8 out of 10.
an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not
Yeah.
bad.
I like this one.
It's still not as bad as your least favorite movie, which is still Rookie of the Year. It's holding the bottom.
No. Did not like that movie. But like I think that
Cracks me up.
Austin Powers outweighed it because of how much I liked that movie. So like that we're back up there. Back up there. We're on a streak again.
Okay. All right. Well, the next one's going to be an interesting toss-up. Hey,
Okay.
I don't know how that one's going to. It's a really big transition, so we'll get to it later.
Okay.
All right, so let's rewind. So we open on Max in a wheat field. He's hearing his name called by a beautiful girl on a pedestal. Symbolism, no? Roxanne is there and she blows dandelions at him and they roll around in the grass and flowers and she goes to kiss him and he grows buck teeth and turns into his dad. Yuck. That was my Goofy. Okay.
That was good.
I was practicing. So he wakes up and it was all a dream. His Mickey Mouse phone rings and his friend said, "Where are you? You're supposed to be at school an hour ago." He runs around to get ready and his dad walks in a towel vacuuming. "Morning, son." His dad asks him for his dirty clothes, but his whole room is dirty clothes. He starts vacuuming and accidentally vacuums a Powerline, a cardboard cutout of a musical artist. Max is upset and says his dad has ruined it, and Goofy says, "Who is that anyway?" And Max tells him that it is Powerline, only the biggest rock star on the planet. And Goofy says, "Not bigger than Xavier Cugat, the Mambo King." Max is not for it. He leaves and Goofy follows him out in his towel, gives him his lunch, and kisses him as other kids laugh. Now, Goofy is voiced by Bill Farmer. He has been Goofy's voice since 1987. Bill Farmer has also voiced Sylvester, Yosemite Sam, and Foghorn Leghorn on Space Jam. So, talking about Space Jam just a little bit ago, this is a little tie back. He also voices Mickey and Pluto on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They start singing After Today in this movie, which is what I was worried. That was the first song that I was like, oh, Hannah's gonna hate this.
Yeah, no, I don't actually hate it. Mm-mm.
It's essentially about how he's a loser, but school's almost over, and after today, things will be going his way, and he's hoping to impress Roxanne. So Max is played by Jason Marsden. Now, Jason is known for his role on the 90s show Step by Step, Full House, and we know him as the voice of Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus, like we just talked about. He was also on Almost Home, Sonic the Hedgehog as Dirk. He is also Will Friedle's best friend, so from Boy Meets World, Eric Matthews. So he was on several episodes of Boy Meets World. He also is the voice of Mungo in Tarzan, and he's done hundreds of voices since. So
Yay.
he's got a really long list of voiceover work. Will Friedle also does voiceover work, so it doesn't surprise me that they both kind of got into that.
Huh. That's really cool. See, like, I don't know much about voice actors, but I did recognize his voice, and I was like, wait, is he from Hocus Pocus? So I did have to Google that, but I was like, wait, I recognize him. Is he from Hocus Pocus? And I didn't know for sure, so I got it
He
confirmed. But
is, yeah.
I was like,
And we'll hear a lot about because these are obviously since cartoon, these are all voice actors or people who've done voice work. And some of them have also been like actual actors as well, including Jason Marsden. He's been in a lot of things. Um, but yeah, there's a really good podcast that Will Friedle does called I Hear Voices, and he like interviews and talks to voice actors.
oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of cool. We've been trying to get my dad into doing some voice acting. So when we have my dad on the pod, you'll understand why, because he can do a lot of different voices.
That's so cool. Ugh, I love
Well, he falls down the risers and onto the field, and Roxanne helps him up and asks him if he's okay, and he looked and choked. Inside, he's complaining to his friend PJ. PJ borrowed a camera from his dad, and they have a plan. They borrowed the AV equipment from Bobby, and they pay him in Cheese Whiz or Cheddar Whizzy. Now, Bobby is played by Pauly Shore, who's known for the movie Biodome, Son-in-Law, Encino Man, and Pauly Shore is Dead. He kind of played the same character in many of these movies. He's a little dumb, he's a little lovable, and ultimately he always ends up being a little smarter than we thought.
it's kind of cool.
They have a event at the auditorium. Like where the whole school goes, and Stacy, the class president, invites everyone to her house for the party later to watch the Powerline concert in the next week. Now, Stacy is played by Jenna Von Oy. Jenna was known for her role as the fast-talking Six on Blossom, which is literally the character here is based after her character on Blossom. The hat gives it away. The bangs, the cut of her hair, and the fact that she talks really fast. That was very much her character on Blossom. But also she was on the Parkers. She was on Born in the 4th of July. So she did that as the Blossom character kind of, and then she was the voice of Trinket on Pepper Ann.
I've never heard of that.
Principal Mazur says, "Thank you, Stacy. And good morning, boys and girls. You know, every year on the last day of school, I have several youngsters approach me and say, Principal Mazur, what can we do this summer to not waste our summer vacation? We don't want to waste our free time sleeping or visiting friends. How about science slumber parties?" I don't think anybody is asking him that. And also, what is a science slumber party?
That
No
was
idea.
my question. Like, what does this mean? Are we making volcanoes? Like,
Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, I really like science slumber parties now. I think I would definitely do those. Like, are we doing experiments in the kitchen? Are we collecting bugs? Like, what? Okay. I first I thought it was lame, and then yeah, now thinking about it, I think I'd go to a science slumber party for sure,
okay,
100%. Be like, do we learn about space? I'm for it.
that
Okay.
would be.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a loser going. Science slumber parties are awesome. Okay. Well, Principal Mazur has an unmistakable voice. That is Wallace Shawn. You may know him as the debate teacher, Mr. Wendell Hall in Clueless. So he was in Clueless. Most millennials and older will know him as Vizzini from The Princess Bride. Inconceivable. He was also the voice of Gilbert in The Incredibles. He was in My Dinner with Andre. Many people recognize his voice. You may know him as Rex in Toy Story.
Oh,
So Rexy, yeah, Rex. Okay. He was
that's
also
so cool.
Cyrus Rose in Gossip Girl. He's also on Young Sheldon, The Good Fight, and a ton of voiceover work as well.
Dang.
So he's got a very distinct voice. But yeah, Rex and Toy Story, and shout out to Toy Story because they're gonna drop Toy Story 5 here pretty soon. So
Oh my God,
um
I'm excited. Excited.
Well, Chad asks Roxanne what she's doing about Stacy's party. And this is really all we really hear from Chad, but I do want to point out Chad is played by Joey Lawrence. So Joey is the oldest of the three Lawrence brothers. He was also in Blossom as well. He was Oliver in Oliver and Company. He was in Give Me a Break and Brotherly Love. He was in Adventures in Babysitting, Horse Sense, Jumping Ship, Half and Half, My Fake Fiance, Hitch for the Holidays, Melissa and Joey Mistletoe Mix Up, and he is on the Brotherly Love podcast with his brothers. So good 90s podcast as well. As Principal Mazur is still talking, he's interrupted by Max dressed as Powerline, and Max trips and bursts through the screen. And then we see Bobby say, "A little smoke it." Ow, ow, ow. And his friend makes the smoke. Max is trying to impress Roxanne. PJ hooks Max to a rope and they raise him up as Max flies around, still as Powerline. Then Principal Mazur busts them and removes his glasses. And then Bobby says, "We're busted." At the mall, Goofy is taking photos of babies. That's his job. He works with Pete as his boss. Pete decides to show him how it's done, and the little girl starts getting the best of him, so he velcros her butt to the table. I did notice that. Pete tells Goofy about taking his kid camping to strengthen the bond between a father and son. He says, "You don't know if he's in a gang, stealing and causing riots." Goofy says he's a good kid and he's not like that. Now, Pete is voiced by the incomparable Jim Cummings, who, if you don't follow him on socials, you need to follow him right this minute. Well, follow us first and then follow him. But he does a ton of voices, including but not limited to Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing Duck, Ray from Princess and the Frog. He was Mogai in Gremlins. He did voices for Transformers, The Flintstone Kids, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, The California Raisin Show, Stanley and the Dinosaurs, Gummy Bears, which we're going to be checking out apparently later, Tailspin, including Lewis, Tiny Toon Adventures, Aladdin, The Addams Family cartoon, Two Stupid Dogs, Bonkers, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, The Tick, Captain Planet. He was the voice of Ed in The Lion King, Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog. He voiced Taz. He was the Monkey Shine beer announcer on Friends. So there's like a commercial where Ross's monkey is in the Monkey Shine beer commercial. And that's how Ross like sees that his monkey is like not at the zoo. He's like, "That looks just like Marcel." And then he like realizes that the zoo claims he died, but in reality they sold him to the company that ended up putting him in the Monkey Shine commercials and then in a movie called Outbreak or something. Anyway, point is that's you can tell I've watched that show too many times. Okay.
I need
See
to watch more of this. The plot lines are crazy.
on Friends. True. Yeah, they are. Yep. 100%.
Like how sudden that was. Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. It's luckily not on Netflix because I think Netflix would have also stopped me from watching that one. But yeah, so that is just a small handful of things. Jim Cummings has 619 credits to his name. Like normally, I just want to tell our listeners, normally we see like 100 to 200 depending on an actor's age and like what they've been in. But on average for like his age, probably like 200. But because of all this voice work, he's in like 619 things. So that's a lot. And voice acting is not like easier necessarily than regular acting because you're having to do all of it and they often base like your movements and stuff in the studio of recording like and they'll do small edits to make it look more like you. So anyway, um yeah, voice acting seems hard to be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, Max is waiting for the principal and Bobby makes the Leaning Tower of Cheesa, which is what I told you to watch out for. Then PJ comes out of the principal's office and says his dad is going to smash him like a bug. Bobby is next and fine with detention. He hands Max the cheese whiz. Max is waiting with his head in his hands, and Roxanne comes up to talk to him. She startles him, and he knocks the paper out of her hands. She says she likes his dance, and he brings up the Powerline concert. He asks her to go with him to the party. She says yes. He says he's going to call her later, and she nervously stumbles out of the room, and he dances and mumbles with the secretary.
Oh my God, I loved that part. That was like one of my favorite parts. It was so funny.
Now, Roxanne is voiced by Kelly Martin. Okay, now we've talked about this movie before, so I'm going to bring it up again. Kelly Martin is the girl from the face on the milk carton, which like when we talked about this, we were talking about it during Overboard. This was a movie where she was like kidnapped when she was little by a family and raised by that family and and her face is on a milk carton because I told you that's where they used to put like missing children on the
Yeah.
side of a milk carton. So in school, you had like missing kid on the side of your school milk carton lunch
It's
for lunch.
scary.
So she sees her face or her friend sees her face like on the side of this milk carton and she like starts investigating it without telling her parents, obviously. And then she finds the family that lost her. And like it's a very awkward situation because she's trying to figure out like how she was like kidnapped and and I don't really fully remember the whole end of the movie, but I remember it was a very intense movie and I do like it very much. That was a movie I was like, let's watch this. This is good. Maybe that was the start of me getting into like crime shows. Crime shows, not crime. Like I didn't start a life of crime. I should have not paused there. So I would say we should edit that out, but now with Hannah laughing, we probably need to keep it in.
Can we clip that?
How I got into crime. I'm now kidnapping people. No, I don't even know. Where would I put them? I'm not even sure. I don't want to share my house with any strangers, so I would not be kidnapping people. Okay. Oh, this is what happens when you don't get enough sleep, is you admit to things you didn't do. This is how I started my life of crime. Oh boy. Okay, well, Edward Herman, who was in Overboard, he was the husband that like pretended that he wasn't her husband, Greg Stanton. Um, it's played by Edward Herman, and he's in that movie as well. So that's why we talked about this movie in Overboard. Anyway. So Kelly Martin was also in My Life Goes On and ER. She was also in Troop Beverly Hills, which is a good fun 90's movie. That's on our list at some point. Mystery Woman series. And then she now leads the Haley Dean Mysteries. So she got into mysteries too. She got into crime as well. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Well, the principal is upset. The secretary calls Goofy. He tells Goofy that Max is in trouble, dressed as a gang member. Your son convinced the entire student body to break into a riotous frenzy. Little overkill. He yells at Goofy and says he should correct his child before he ends up in the electric chair. Also overkill.
That
Goofy
was
sees.
crazy when he said that. Who says that to? Is that how principals acted? Like in the 90's? Like were principals that forthright about things?
Um, I mean, oh, I don't think so. I mean, principals were probably like a little aggressive.
Okay.
Um, I don't remember very many principals that I liked.
Okay.
Um, maybe one. I think my principal and like one of my elementary schools was good.
Okay.
And that's about it. So
Oh.
I think the rest of them were just kind of like unapproachable. Which it's like, why would you put an unapproachable person as a principal? I don't think they do that anymore. But like it used to be like old dudes in suits and um
Dang.
and you like couldn't talk to them. They also like just yelled at you about stuff.
Oh my God.
So
What?
I don't know. I don't
Damn.
remember having a lot of good principals.
Okay. It was the
Don't
opposite
clip
for
that because that makes it like principals as a school principal. I don't have any good principals. See, like if
puts
we
it
start
with
clipping things, it's just gonna sound bad all the way around.
Say hi, guys. Say hi.
Oh boy. Goofy sees the little fishing toys and he remembers his trip to Lake Destiny, Idaho. And Goofy says he's going fishing with his boy. And he runs out of the store. All the kids leave and they're congratulating Max. PJ even congratulates him, saying he just heard about him and Roxanne. Everyone is congratulating him, and he runs home to stand out. That's the song that they sing. He sees his dad packing the car. He says, "If you're going to be more than a month, Dad, drop me a line." Goofy says it's not just him on vacation, it's a vacation for him and his best buddy. Then Max asks Donald Duck. Goofy says, "No, silly, with you." Goofy says they're going to spend some real quality time together. Then he puts him in an inflatable vest and a fishing hat, gives him a hand-me-down fishing pole. They're going fishing away from it all. Max doesn't want to be away from it all, but Goofy pulls out the map and says they're going to take the same route that he and his dad did and see all the same sights and go fishing just like he and his dad. And Max says that trip could take weeks, and Goofy says, exactly. Now, Max says he has to go to this party, and Goofy says there will be plenty of time for parties when he's older. Max is refusing to go. Goofy tries to guilt him, but it doesn't work. Eventually, he just forces him into the car, and Max is upset. Goofy says he doesn't want him to end up in the electric chair. He isn't giving up, and together they're going to work this out.
The way he just strapped him in too. He just went.
Yeah.
You're in. You're in. That,
Max insists they stop first and talk to Roxanne, and he forces his dad to pull over. He has to cancel their first date in less than an hour from making the date. That kind of sucks. He rings the doorbell, and a big guy answers. Max nervously asks for Roxanne. And eventually Roxanne comes out and they sit on the porch rail and he has to tell Roxanne that he won't be at the party, that his father is on a father and son kick. He doesn't want to go, but he has no choice. She says that she'll find somebody else. And Max panics and said, well, his dad is taking him to the Powerline concert in LA. He promises to say hi to her from stage at the concert so she won't go to the party with another date. He says he wouldn't have missed her date for anything that wasn't incredible, and she kisses him and says she'll see him on TV. Now, Goofy is videoing the open road. His son is not in a good mood, so he pulls out his list of games. He says, think of a name, and I'll try to guess who it is. Max supposedly thinks of a name, probably not though, and Goofy guesses Walt Disney, and Max just agrees. Max turns on the radio, and Goofy changes it to put in the tape High Hopes. which we just sang in choir last season. Max
Oh my
puts
God.
a rock back on, and they fight over the radio and sound system until it breaks. The choir. Now I'm saying that. The car and supplies start making noise, so Goofy sings along to "Out on the Open Road." Now, this song reminded me very much of how I used to have a bad attitude about some of the vacations I got forced to go on to. So I don't know if you had that, if you were like that as a kid.
That's a really good question. Huh. I f okay, I was like one of those kids that was peed off while I was in the car, but then the minute I got there, I was fine. But like when I vacation, I don't want to leave the room. So like I was in a, yeah, yeah,
You know that like you could have just stayed home and sit in a room. Sorry to
yeah.
sound like your parent, but like I don't think you needed to go anywhere to just sit in the room.
Yeah, no. My dad and family took me to Wisconsin Dells. This was in like seventh grade. I don't really vacation often, but they took me to Wisconsin Dells, and I kid you not, I like threw a fit because they wanted me to go on the slides and stuff. And I was like, oh, heck no, I'm not doing that. So I literally tried to get my mom to pick me up from there because they wouldn't let me sit in the room.
I have a couple of questions. One is like slides. Are there slides in the Wisconsin Dells? It just sounds like they took you to a playground.
No, like the water slides.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there a water park?
Yeah.
I've never been to the Wisconsin. I've been to
You've never
Wisconsin, but
been?
not the Dells.
Oh my
And
God.
so I know it's pretty and stuff, and
Yeah.
eventually I'll get there. I've been
It's
to other
fun.
parts of Wisconsin,
Yeah.
but okay.
It's
Well,
fun.
I was dragged all over the country as a kid, and especially the one I took like a two, I think we were like gone for like 2 or 3 weeks, and we did a road trip all the way out to Idaho and back. Different route on the way there and a different route on the way back. So it was like a big loop. It was kind of like this movie, honestly.
I
And
can see
I was
that.
in a terrible mood. One, because I was probably like middle school and miserable
Mm-hmm.
and being dragged to see things that I didn't want to see.
Yeah.
Like the state parks or the national parks were cool. Um, we saw like Old Faithful, which was really lame. Like it's not faithful. It's not large as it makes it look. It's like not impressive. It's like Mount Rushmore. You go to Mount Rushmore and you're like, this is smaller than I thought it was going to be and less impressive. So,
Yeah.
and it's full of people and snakes and tourism because of really big high tourism area. So it's kind of just doesn't feel like an adventure anyway. So I got dragged all over the place and I was like at Old Faithful on that day, Old Faithful was my final straw. I like threw a fit. I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm a like early teenager. It's probably like 12 or 13 and I was just like this is lame. Um so yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
no.
bad for my mom because she 100% got the brunt of that. I'm like, I don't want to be here. This sucks. Why are we here with all these stupid people? It was
Yeah.
very much like this, very much like this movie. So like, I think as a kid, I related to this movie, and also like as an adult, I remember being that kid.
Yeah. Honestly, me too kind of because my family is like a road trip family when we go anywhere. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't like road tripping.
Well, on that trip, like we camped all along the way, and at one point outside Devil's Tower, our tents blew away
Oh.
while we they show cloud at the campground outside Devil's Tower, which I highly recommend going there because that place is cool. But the campground is like across the stream, and so you've got Devil's Tower in your background essentially, and they show Close Encounters of a Third Kind, which is like a really good, intense late 80s movie that was filmed at Devil's Tower about aliens, and they
Oh
show
my
it
God.
outside, and it was like a really windy day, and so we like finished the movie only to go back and find that our tent is like gone. just like
Oh,
nowhere to be found. So then we had
wait.
to sleep in this big van. Like me and my stepsister at the time, like had to sleep in this big van. Um,
Dang.
and everybody else still had their tent, I think. So it was not awesome. Excuse me. So anyway, that was our experience. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of the many bad road trips I've been on.
Oh
I
my
saw a
God.
lot of great things. As a teenager, didn't appreciate any of them.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Goofy sees a prisoner in a prison van and is even more determined to take his son to not end up in the electric chair. The Goofy says he's taking Max someplace special, and they go to Possum Palace. Now, Max doesn't want to get out of the car, and Goofy drags him out. Now, this place reminds me of there's used to be a place called Major Magic's, which was a competitor to Chuck E. Cheese.
Wait, there's a
So
what?
there used to be, it doesn't exist anymore. There used to be a competitor, maybe just in Michigan, I'm not sure, but it was a competitor to Chuck E. Cheese called
Oh,
Major Magic's, and there was a bear jug band jamboree group that was animatronic. It wasn't metal, it was furry. They looked like real bears. I mean, they didn't really look like real bears, but they were like animatronic bears. And as that place was going out of business, the breakdown that the possums have is exactly what these bears experienced. And I was like, this is getting like I used to love it. And then as I got older and these bears were like not operating the way that they should, it was very disappointing and also very sad. So
yeah.
that is exactly like this Major Magic's bear
Really?
jug band. I think they ended up replacing the bears with something else at
Oh,
some point, or maybe a different location had something else, but ours had bears and pretending to do a jug band, blowing into the jug and everything. Anyway,
oh my God. It reminded me of Five Nights at Freddy's with the animatronics. I was like, that's kind of scary because Five Nights at Freddy's is like deteriorated too. You know what I mean?
there's nothing creepier than
Yeah.
something for kids. It's like, anyway.
Don't
Well,
like
in
it.
this case, they are at an animatronic Possum Park, Lester's Possum Park, and it's yodeling time. And the animatronics are breaking, and Max is miserable. Now, Possum Park MC is voiced by Pat Buttram. If you ever saw the animated Robin Hood, did you ever see Robin Hood? He was the sheriff of Nottingham. Little Robin Hood, Little John running through the forest,
Have you seen
laughing back and
Robin
forth.
Hood? I don't know. I
Something
don't
to
think
say.
so.
You never saw? Oh,
I don't think so. I've seen Fox and the Hound though. I love that
okay.
movie.
Well, he was chief in Fox and the Hound. So he was chief. He was Napoleon in the Aristocrats. Cats, sorry, the
I
Aristocats.
love
He
that
was
movie.
in Back to the Future Part 3. He started his career in a ton of westerns, and he was in the Gene Autry Show. And then many of the older generations will know him from his role in Green Acres. So he was in Green Acres, which is a good show. Um, but yeah, he was the sheriff of Nottingham. Oh my gosh, I can't believe never seen Robin Hood. Okay, we gotta get that on our list. I think it's not, I think it's pre 90's, but we'll take a look. It's a Disney movie. It's good.
Okay. I feel
Um,
like I would like that one, but no, I've never seen it. Mm-mm.
yeah, you would like that one. Okay, well, everyone leaves and Goofy goes to buy hats. Max gets accosted by Lester the possum mascot, and he hits his costume head and says, "Beat it, doofus," which is pretty much my attitude at that age as well.
Fair.
Goofy comes back with the possum hats and wants to get their photo taken, and he hangs upside down on the limb. Max doesn't want to. The limb breaks, sending a possum to Max, and Max ends up dancing around trying to get rid of it, and Goofy just thinks he's dancing. Max ends up being so embarrassed and throws the hat down and goes to the car and then tries to hitchhike when he can't get into the car. Goofy says he doesn't understand. He thought that they were having fun. And Goofy unlocks the car. Max loses it and is very upset. And Goofy feels dejected. They drive away. Later, Max is playing in the water, and Goofy tries to get him to do some fishing, and Max walks away. So Goofy sets up the tent as a big RV pulls up over top of him, clear cutting the nearby trees, setting up a basketball court and a pool. And Pete comes out, and serendipity doo dah! Inside, PJ is cleaning to music and grooving. Max laughs at his friend dancing. Small wilderness dude, PJ says it's unbelievable that he's going to the Powerline concert. And Max admits his dad doesn't know that they're going to the Powerline concert. Well, Pete and Goofy talk about the kids. Pete says if he keeps them under his thumb, they'll never end up in the gutter. Goofy tells Max he's going fishing now and to get his gear. Max doesn't know how to fish, and Goofy shows him the perfect cast. It's loose and relaxed, 10 to quarter to 3, tour, jeté, twist, over, pas de deux, I'm a little teapot, and the wind up and let her fly. Now 10 and 2, I should say 10 and 2 is a fly fishing. 10 and 2, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. So you're constantly just like, because you want your
fishing.
Well, fly fishing is like you don't leave your pole, like you don't leave your line in the water. You like cast it out and try to like entice like a fly landing on top of the water and then try to entice them to bite and hook. So it's not I mean, I guess you can cast it out for a little bit and like leave it, but it's not like regular fishing. It's a little different. And usually you're in the river doing that. And I think you do this because you're also drying your line when you're like whipping it a little bit before you cast because you want your line to not have other droplets of water to scare away other fish or something. It's been a hot minute since I sat through a lesson that wasn't mine. My mother was into fly fishing for a while, and so I went to some lessons that I did not want to be at.
That's kind of sick. Oh. Yeah, no. I feel like that's like a very stereotypical, like at least around me. It's like the boonies, everybody be fishing. They never use the fish though. I don't think I've seen anyone actually fish and use the fish.
What are you talking about? What do you mean use the fish? Like eat the fish? Keep the fish?
Yeah. Like
they just get rid of it? Throw it back?
Yeah.
Just for sport? Okay. Well, they're doing it for sport. Kind of cruel, but maybe they're not catching anything big enough. I don't know. There's regulations.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay. That makes sense.
I don't know. Well, he accidentally hooks Pete's steak off the grill and sends it out onto the lake's edge on the other side where Bigfoot finds it. Now he's reeling it in and bringing Bigfoot closer to him. So it's another movie with Bigfoot. Just because you didn't have enough Bigfoot movies so far. Well, Goofy tells Max to get the camera. They catch a Bigfoot, though, and get it on camera. Bigfoot tears after them, and Pete takes off. Goofy throws the camera, and they get into the car through the sunroof, and then they close it, but they don't have the keys, so they can't drive away. Goofy says he's got the only video of Bigfoot, and Max says they're going to be famous until they realize that Bigfoot has their camera, and it's tearing it apart. Max wants to leave, but they see Bigfoot with their car keys, and then he goes through all of their stuff. They're able to get out of their car to get a can of soup, like get the arm out to get the can of soup that's on the car. Bigfoot dances to the headphones and the music that he's listening to. Goofy ends up using the cigarette lighter to cook the alphabet soup, or Hi Dad soup as he calls it, because Max used to spell out things like Hi Dad or I love you. Now, Goofy and Max eventually apologize to each other, and Max eats the soup. Bigfoot then sleeps on top of their car, and Max leaves Goofy a message in his soup can saying, Hi, Dad. They fall asleep in the car. Now, Max wakes up later and writes out Roxanne a postcard, originally lying and then later editing it to admitting to it being a lie. The map falls out of the glove box, and Max changes the route to take them to LA and rips up the postcard. Goofy half wakes up and asks how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon? And Max says 3.5, and then he falls back asleep. Now later, Max and Goofy are at a diner for breakfast, and Goofy gives Max the responsibility of being the navigator and announces it to the whole diner. Everyone claps, and Goofy says he can pick out all the stops from here to Lake Destiny, and that he trusts him. So they decide to go jet skiing, and Goofy hits everything. They blow a tire. They ride a roller coaster, and Goofy gets sick. They go to a monster truck rally, and Goofy doesn't like the noise. So Max then takes them to see the biggest ball of yarn, and his dad's finally happy. Then they go to New Orleans to see a mime. Goofy is even more happy. They fix another tire. They go to the Carlsbad Caves. They go to the baseball game and get a signed ball. They change more tires. Finally, they stay at the Neptune Inn. And then Pete knocks on the door pretending to be the cops, and Pete tells Goofy to put Max under their thumb, and he asks to plug into the RV into the room. And they order a pizza. The adults go up to the hot tub, and PJ tells Max that changing the map was stupid. Pete overhears this and tells Goofy. Goofy doesn't believe him at first, but Pete tells him he's a bad kid and to check the map. And Goofy says he trusts his son. Pete says, check the map, Goof. He goes to the car and opens the doesn't intentionally open the glove compartment, but it falls open, and he sees that Pete was right. He goes to the room, there's pizza everywhere, and Goofy just goes to bed. PJ leaves, and they're quiet the next day. Max feels guilty, Goofy is disappointed, and they get to the part where they need to make the call. So LA or Idaho, which is where the lake is supposed to be taking them. So Max chooses LA, and Goofy is pissed. Max tries to play games, but Goofy pulls over and gets out of the car furious. Max tries to explain, and Goofy says, why bother? I'm probably too stupid to understand it anyway. He goes back and leans on the car, and it rolls away. They end up chasing the car. They get in, and they try to put the brakes on, but the brakes break. And they argue about never wanting to go on vacation, and then they fall into the river below, which reminds me I need to get one of those window breaking tools from Adventures with a Purpose that they advertise on social media. Because I was like, oh no, they need one of these tools. But they make it out of the water, and they are still fighting. Goofy says he doesn't want his son to end up in prison. He wanted to take his boy fishing. Max says he's not a little boy anymore. He has his own life now, and Goofy says he just wants to be a part of it. They float
That
on top of
was
the
so sad.
It was
I
sweet
almost
though. It
cried.
was sweet. They float on top of the car down the river in the canyon, kind of like if you're like what Kelsey does at her job if you are following Euro Kelsey. She's attempting to be the first American woman to row across the Pacific from California to Hawaii.
I have heard of this though. I see it all over TikTok.
Okay, so her
I feel like
regular job is going down these canyons with like as a guide in the Grand Canyon. She's like a Grand Canyon water guide.
oh
So
my God. Wait, I
anyway,
didn't realize it was like that. I've just seen like how far she is, like the little
well,
like
she doesn't take a car usually like they did. I think she's got a boat,
yeah. She's
but
floating around the car.
yeah, she's not normally floating in a car like they did. But yeah, right now, if you watch her, she's on day 26, I think, and she's just over halfway.
Oh my
But
God.
it's been slow going lately because she hasn't had any wind and the current's pretty bad. So, but anyway, she normally leads these canyon water trips. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that's exactly what Kelsey does.
Wait, that's really
Um,
cool. Huh.
well, they sing Nobody Else But You. And Max tells him about Roxanne. Goofy says the only thing to do now is to get him up on stage with Powerline. They approach a waterfall, and Goofy attempts the perfect cast to get Max from going over. He hooks the car, and the car eventually goes over, pulling Goofy with him. Max escapes with the tarp turning into a parachute, and Max casts the perfect cast to catch Goofy, and they sail up with the parachute to safety. At the Powerline concert, Goofy and Max sneak in instrument cases. They're backstage as Powerline goes on, and they almost get caught and they get separated. Goofy accidentally goes up in some kind of like electric ball. And at the party for the concert, they don't see Max yet. Roxanne's getting disappointed and everybody's kind of telling her it's not true. Well, Goofy gets in the ball and gets zapped and it explodes and he gets out and Powerline is confused and Max shouts to Goofy to do the perfect cast, which is a good dance move. And Max ends up on stage as well and they all do the perfect cast, which is a great dance. The kids at the party and PJ all see him on TV. Everyone is dancing. Bobby and Stacy even fall in love, which is a cute little grouping. Hopefully she has lots of cans of cheese. Well, we hear the
Right?
rest of the song Eye to Eye, which is a good song by Powerline. Now, the R&B singer Tevin Campbell is the voice of Powerline. I have never heard any of his other songs. I've never even heard of him before looking him up. He's written things like Can We Talk, I'm Ready, and Tell Me What You Want Me to Do, and Always in My Heart. Honestly, so far, I really like his Powerline work better. So sorry, Tevin Campbell. But for me, R&B can also be too slow. So, like,
Yeah.
unless you're Boys to Men, like, I'm not like some R&B can be too slow.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
I'm like a big R&B person, yeah.
so Max and Goofy make it back to town barely in their car, surprisingly. Max goes up to Roxanne's house. Her dad answers, and Roxanne comes out and says he was great. He admits it wasn't true. He made it up because he wanted her to like him. She says she did like him because of his laugh. Oh, yuck. They made a date for tomorrow and they kiss. Max laughs stupid and Roxanne likes it. Now Goofy's car explodes and he crashes through the front porch roof and Max introduces them. So like the thing that he was afraid of becoming was the thing that she liked the most.
Which was so cute.
And that is the end of the movie. So what did I miss?
Oh my God, it was so cute. Hey, first off, I think I already mentioned this, but like the principal and Pete putting these thoughts in Goofy's head irked me. Cause like your son is not gonna end up in an electric chair. He was trying to impress a girl, so I feel like
You
I
might.
don't know.
Girls be trouble, Hannah.
This is true.
Lots of men have ended up in the electric chair trying to impress a girl.
Yeah, fair, fair. I mean, he did do something pretty crazy. Like Max did kind of go overboard. So like, I don't know. I feel like the
Well, boys be
whole
crazy too. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like the whole that part of like why this all started kind of just irked me a little bit because I was like, this is you're gonna take your son on a few-week long trip for no apparent reason because you think he's gonna end up in jail. Like what?
Not just jail, the electric
Electric
chair.
chair. It's so funny. Okay. I wrote down the I know, but I just wanted to be part of it, as in his life
Mhm.
from Goofy to Max. I thought that
That
was
was
super
like
sweet.
such a sweet line. Yeah.
No, it was so cute. Also, the whole trip was insane. They went to like so many places
I mean, you
and
saw
like
the map. It was like, we're gonna go from here down. I don't know where they started, but they like did a loop-de-loop and then they went around and then they went up.
yeah,
I mean, they were kind of seeing the whole country
yeah,
in
it
several
was
weeks.
crazy. Yeah, which was super cool, but it was crazy. And Goofy liking the yarn had me dead.
The biggest ball of yarn. I mean, I think that's important to look at like the weird. I always look at when we're doing a road trip, like what are the weirdest things we're gonna pass, and do I want to see
Is
any of
there?
them? Because there's like places with a giant basket and like the biggest chicken and like I don't even know.
Love that. I would love to see the biggest chicken. I would die. I also thought it was funny how like the last 20 minutes of the movie was like when they really bonded. Like Max was just tired of his dad the entire effing time. But
Well, I mean, to be fair, at that age, you're trying to get away from your parents
yeah.
to to like establish who you are and figure out. That's what he says in the thing. I'm trying to have my own life.
Yeah.
And that's really like it's not I think it's a delicate I don't think any parent has handled it amazingly. But kids have to like break away a little bit to figure out what they're about outside of becoming their parents. And the thing is like parents also think like, oh, this is a different person, but also it's gonna eventually be like me.
Hmm.
I was watching somebody was doing an interview that some actress said that, and the thing is they gotta realize like your kid is not gonna be like you. Your kid is going to be its own thing and you
Yeah.
have to understand you spend your life trying to figure out what that means and what that is and helping them just have the space to let them figure it out what it is. And then what's really fun is you get to my age and you realize no, I'm like my parents. And you're like sometimes in like the worst ways and sometimes in the good ways. And yeah, you end up being like, ah, crap, I turned into my parents. So like you spend your teens trying to be everything but your parents and figure out what you are. In your
Yeah,
20s, you're still kind of doing that. In your
yeah.
30s, you're like just settling into what you're not. And then in your 40s, you're like, crap. Just
Oh
like
no.
I'm just like them. God, help me. The world, watch out, world. There's more of us, kind of thing.
Oh my god. Apples fall far from the tree.
Terrible. And then I feel like maybe in your, I'm not there yet, but I feel like maybe in your 50s, you're like, just accept it. And then maybe in your 60s, you like become a new person. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah,
That's funny. Oh my god.
you find yourself doing the things that you're like, you vowed as a teenager you would never do or
Yeah.
be like.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you're
already
like,
starting
ugh,
to have like some of those things, specifically with my dad. I'm like, oh, I need to eat normally on a normal schedule.
yeah,
But um, okay. What else? Oh, I Googled because I was like, there has to be a second movie to this because now I'm like super invested in Max and Roxanne's relationship.
there is. Yeah.
Oh, I saw they're
An
still together.
extremely goofy movie.
I
It's
have to
on
watch.
Disney Plus as well.
Okay, I didn't even check if it was. I just was like, is there a second movie? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Wait, I'm excited.
There is a second movie.
Yeah, no, I think because of how much I liked this one, I might have to just go back and watch that. Seems like my
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna, just for the listeners, like, I'm not big on doing sequels. I think there's one sequel we might watch because we're not gonna watch the original. I think we're gonna skip to the sequel. Maybe. But yeah, I'm not big on sequels, so
Hmm,
that's unless we start running out of movies. We
fair.
ain't watching them.
That's fair.
So
I'm
you're gonna
such a
watch them on
sequel
your own.
person. Okay, I'm such a
Watch them on
sequel
your.
person.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well,
I like the
there
ending
are
of things.
plenty of sequels to watch. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So after that, yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I think there's only a couple sequels that I'm like, that was a good movie. That stands on its own. Sister Act 2, that's a good movie. It stands on
That,
its own.
that was a good
Home Alone 2, I think that's the one on our list for this
one.
winter.
I
That's a
think
good
so.
movie. That stands on its own. Um,
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Trying to think, I don't know. I don't know. Other people are gonna fight with me. Fight with me about it, that's fine. There aren't a lot of movies that I'm like, yeah, let's watch the second one.
There.
Well, are you ready for our next watch?
Yes.
Okay, we are completely going in a different direction for our next watch as we start to get into our summer series. Now, I'll give you what's coming out as well after this one, but our next watch is The Matrix. It's a 1999 sci-fi film following Neo. Actually, let's just ask you, what do you think The Matrix is about before I give you the description? Because I feel like this is going to be a lot more interesting.
I feel like I've always had this vision in my head of this movie, and now having to try to explain it is going to be really funny. So I imagine, like, I literally know really nothing about the plot, but I've always wanted to see this movie. Like, I don't know why,
Okay.
but I've always wanted to because I feel like it's going to be like Men in Black mixed with like weird science experiments and interdimensional things. So, like Star Wars and Men in Black.
No.
Okay. Oh.
Star Wars and nope.
How
I think
off
the
am
Men in
I?
Black is throwing me off. It's nothing like Star Wars, and it's not like Men in Black at all.
Does it
So
like
those are
include the Illuminati?
no.
Oh, I don't know why, but okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm
No.
gonna be surprised.
I think Star Wars meets Men in Black would be more like The Fifth Element. Don't put that on your list because that's on our list.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's a 1997 movie. We'll eventually watch it. I think that would be kind of along that vibe.
Okay.
It's not, it's like it's funny like Men in Black. It's alienish like Men in Black.
Okay. I love stuff like that.
I don't know if it'd be like really Star Wars other than like it's intense like Star Wars.
Okay.
But that's not The Matrix.
Okay. Wait, I'm even more excited because like the alien thing I like. I like alien movies.
Okay, well, this is not an alien movie.
Oh, you just said aliens were mentioned. Or you just mentioned aliens.
No, you mentioned aliens. I said
Oh,
The Fifth Element has
oh,
aliens.
okay.
You mentioned Men in Black. I never said anything about
Oh, okay.
aliens.
I thought
That
you were
was all
talking about
you.
the Matrix when you were
The
talking
Matrix doesn't have, I mean, I guess you can kind of view it as like an alien thing, but it's not aliens technically.
Okay, wait.
I mean, kind of, I don't know. You
I'm
figure it out.
excited.
Okay,
Okay.
well, this is a sci-fi film following Neo, a hacker who discovers that humanity's reality is a simulated illusion.
Oh, I'm gonna love
Created
this movie.
created by intelligent machines, the simulation, which is called the Matrix, pacifies humans so their bioelectric energy can be harvested. Neo joins a rebel group to fight the machines and free mankind.
I'm
So,
gonna
Ke-
love this.
so Keanu Reeves has entered the chat. For sure. So you're going to be learning about Keanu Reeves. We're going to talk about him a lot. Now you'll also be introduced to Lawrence Fishburne. Is great. Now this movie has a lot of symbolism. It has a lot of philosophy all woven into it. So
Ooh.
you're going to be like kind of hearing a lot of that. It's important to pay attention. It might take well, colors will be an important role in here and not just in the obvious colors that people who are listening to this might think about. But in the real world versus the non-real world, like it's the way that they use colors to show you what's real and what's not real. There will be references to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. My bet is that you probably will have to watch this one more than once. With that being said, this movie is currently free on YouTube. But if you do not watch it on YouTube, it's currently a rental elsewhere. So if you're gonna rent, you're gonna want to watch, you're gonna want to plan your watches so that you can watch it within your rental time frame twice. Or you can temp subscribe on Amazon to Howdy, something I don't know what else is on Howdy. I feel like we've encountered it before, but I'll probably be watching it on YouTube. So supposedly it's free there. So, yeah, obviously, do you think that that aligns with what you were thinking?
No, but I think I like
No?
it more.
So weird.
Now I think I like it more. I love conspiracy theories. I
Okay.
low key think our world is a simulation. I think I'm a sim. So maybe
Okay.
this confirms it.
Well, this will align with your thoughts then, but it's not like The Sims, like you don't have a floating thing above your head and just want to clarify. It'll be good. It is intense. There are multiple sequels to this movie. I will tell you, I don't like the girl in this movie.
Okay.
So sorry.
Oh, okay.
That ain't my bag, baby. From Austin Powers. Uh, that's a man. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I don't really like the girl in this movie, and like that only she's only in more in the other movies, and I'm just
Oh,
like meh.
okay.
So
Let's see.
again, we won't be watching those sequels because
Okay.
I got
Okay.
forced in high school to watch those sequels, and I was just like, can I just not? Ugh.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a sequel
That's
girl. Okay. Unless you're Harry Potter. Sorry.
That's fair.
Uh,
Actually, that one's so true. Yeah.
but that is it for Millennial Meets Gen Z 90s edition. So thanks for hanging out with us and rewinding the 90s, one movie, one show, one chaotic conversation at a time, especially where I'm admitting to crimes that I did not do. In this episode, if it brought back a memory, introduced you to something new, reminded you of that family vacation that you took before, or made you want to revisit a classic, make sure that you follow us, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're also now on Patreon. Come find us on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube to revisit the moments, all the extra conversations that we have along the way. And until next time, be kind and rewind.
Thanks for listening or watching, everybody.